Faculty of Law UPN Veteran Jakarta.
Faculty of Law UPN VJ is a leading educational institution that offers comprehensive legal education for students. The company aims to prepare competent, skilled, and knowledgeable graduates in the field of law for the global market. Faculty of Law UPN Veteran Jakarta consists of two study programs. Firstly, undergraduate law study program, and secondly, master law study program. The following are the vision and mission of the Faculty of Law UPN Veteran Jakarta. The following are the study program concentration: criminal law, civil law, international law, business law, constitutional law, and information technology law. Faculty of Law UPN VJ comprises highly qualified academic lecturers who are experts and consultants in their respective fields. They possess exceptional teachings. Teaching experience, and research abilities to provide students with the best learning experience. The following is the number of graduates from undergraduate and master study program of the Faculty of Law UPN Veteran Jakarta for the last 3 years. Our students are those who possess strong analytical skills and an aptitude for critical thinking. They can process complex information and apply legal principles to real-world situations. Additionally, they have excellent communication skills and are able to communicate their legal arguments effectively in both written and oral formats. They possess a strong work ethic and are willing to put their time and effort necessary to succeed in their studies. They are organized and able to manage their time effectively to balance their coursework, extracurricular activities, and any other commitments they may have. They understand the importance of upholding ethical standards and maintaining professional conduct ethics and integrity in and out of the classroom. Faculty of Law also conduct collaboration with overseas university in international class exchange program.
Hello, my name is Jennifer from class of 2021. The reason why I'm studying at Law Major UPN VJ because the facilities that I get are quite capable. The lecturers who teach are also competent and informative, so I believe gonna be a great student and become qualified graduate soon. Thank you, bye!
Faculty of Law has several lecturer qualifications for a lecturer of law, including a postgraduate degree in law or a related field, with further qualifications such as a doctorate and professors with significant experience. Additionally, our lecturers of law qualify to effectively communicate complex legal concepts to students and stay updated with changes and developments in the legal field. The learning activities is highly interactive with the lecturer. It motivates students to comprehend the law practically. Faculty of Law UPN VJ offers a curriculum that equips students with a broad understanding of the law, its principles, and its application in society. The expected competencies of graduating students are: A. Mastery of the principles and theories of law. B. Applying methods, think logically, critical analysis, and legal reasoning. C. Able to practice the litigation and non-litigation process. D. Able to manage administration and procedures in court. E. Able to provide community advocacy and mediation. F. Provide an arbitration process. G. Able to apply interpersonal skills through information literacy, global relationships, critical innovation, and religious.
Hello, my name is Lulu Aisa. I'm from class of 2021. The reason that I choose law as my major is because there's so many achievements made by students in both academic and non-academic aspects. It makes me excited to be a student here. Thank you. Bye.
The Faculty of Law has won many awards, both at the national and international level, which are trains and collaborates with the lecturers. The Faculty of Law facilitates students to learn the practice in various institutions, providing certification of expertise. For instance, in the Nation Advocates Association.
Cek. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Nama Budaya, Salam Kebajikan. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Good morning everyone. May peace be upon us all. It is a pleasure to welcome all of you into this seminar. Yang terhormat, Dekan Fakultas Hukum UPN Veteran Jakarta, Bapak Dr. Suherman, SH LLM. Wakil Dekan 1 Fakultas Hukum, Bapak Dr. Beni Harmoni Harefa, SH LLM. Wakil Dekan 3 Fakultas Hukum, Bapak Abdul Kholik, SH MH. Para Ketua Program Studi Fakultas Hukum, para dosen pengajar Fakultas Hukum, dan seluruh peserta seminar internasional yang saya banggakan. And with us today, our remarkable and generous special speakers who are here to share their expertise. Professor Stefan Kues from Universitas Bundeswehr, Munich, Germany. Professor Hayan Ulhak from University of Utrecht and Universitas Mataram. Dr. Rafizah Abu Hasan from University Teknologi Mara, Malaysia. And lastly, Dr. Mutia Sakti, SHMH from Fakultas Hukum UPN Veteran Jakarta. Before we start, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Novel Razan. It is my pleasure to host this international seminar with the theme Navigating Creativity and Control, Balancing Freedom and Regulation in the Digital Economy Era. So this seminar will explore two significant sub-themes. Seminar ini akan membahas dua subtema penting. The first one is limit of freedom. Yang pertama ada pembukaan, dan kedua menyanyikan lagu kebangsaan Indonesia Raya dan Mars Bela Negara. Yang ketiga ada sambutan dari Dekan Fakultas Hukum, diikuti dengan pemberian sertifikat dan penandatanganan perjanjian kerjasama serta implementation agreement. Keempat ada pembacaan profil singkat narasumber dan pengantar yang akan dibacakan dengan moderator. Dan selanjutnya ada pemaparan dari seluruh narasumber. Yang keenam ada Q&A session. Teman-teman bisa bertanya in English or bahasa Indonesia, it's okay. Yang terakhir ada penutup. Maka dari itu sebelum kita memulai acara ini, marilah kita menyanyikan lagu Indonesia Raya dan Mars Bela Negara terlebih dahulu. Hadirin dimohon untuk berdiri. Baik, hadirin dipersilakan duduk kembali. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and a greeting for all. Your Honorable for the speaker, Prof. Stephen Koch from Universitas der Bunderwest München, German. Welcome to Pembangunan Jakarta, Mr. Stephen, and the speaker, Prof. Ayan Ul Haq from the Utrecht University and also University Mataram, NTB Lombok. And the speaker, Dr. Mutia Sakti from Faculty of Law, Pembangunan Jakarta. For the speaker, Dr. Rafijah Abu Hassan from Faculty of Law, UTM, Ngara, Malaysia. Welcome to UPN Veteran Jakarta. Maybe the first time for you to come to UPN Veteran Jakarta. And also, Your Honorable Vice Dean, Faculty of Law, UPN Veteran Jakarta, Vice Dean Academic, Dr. Benny Harmony, and also Vice Dean Student Affairs, Abdul Halik, and also all students who I am appreciate for you. Thank you very much for coming in this international seminar. And first of all, let us express our gratitude to the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, most gracious and most merciful God. It is with a great pleasure that I welcome you all to this international seminar on navigating creativity and control, balancing freedom and regulation in the digital economy era. As I know, contracts are made to provide legal protection and legal certainty for the parties. Freedom of contract is one of the principles among several important principles contained in contract law. Contract are already a necessity in business activity that require effectiveness and efficiency, while contract in the field of intellectual property rights are also developing rapidly today, especially related to a licensing agreement, also related to digital contract that are very common in society, such as online sales in contract. Therefore, I think the topic today in a seminar national is very appropriate with the development that occur in the business world in our society. I think before I finish my speech, may I have a pantun, sir? Okay, thank you, Mr. Hayan. Air beriak tanda tak dalam. Kurang kompak nih cakepnya kayaknya nih. Kayaknya kurang keras nih kayaknya. Air beriak tanda tak dalam. Air tenang seperti berlian. Izinkan saya ucapkan salam untuk para hadirin sekalian. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Penandatanganan, Mbak. Oh, ya. Selanjutnya penyerahan sertifikat para narasumber dan penandatanganan perjanjian kerjasama serta implementation of agreement. Kami mengundang para narasumber dan Bapak Dekan untuk maju ke depan untuk menerima sertifikat sebagai bentuk apresiasi atas kontribusi luar biasa mereka dalam seminar ini. Hadirin mohon berikan tepuk tangan untuk narasumber-narasumber. photo session for the audience and the speakers. Selanjutnya akan ada sesi foto bersama ya. Foto dulu, Pak. Para bapak-bapak dekanat dan pimpinan mohon untuk ke depan ya untuk foto bersama. Oh ya, oke, boleh berbalik jadi kelihatan pesertanya. Untuk hadirin dimohon untuk berdiri ya untuk sesi dokumentasi. Dimohon untuk berdiri ya teman-teman semua. Thank you. Oke, langsung aja kita move on to the next agenda. Selanjutnya, pengantar seminar serta pembacaan profil singkat narasumber akan dipandu oleh moderator. Without further ado, to facilitate our discussion today, we are honored to have us our esteemed moderator, who is a vice manager at International Moot Court in ILSA, Chapter UPN Veteran Jakarta, liaison officers for exchange students in International Affairs Office in UPN Veteran Jakarta. Give a round of applause to our moderator as they guide us through today's session. Please welcome Muhammad Alif Raihan Zain. Tepuk tangan semuanya.
Distinguished Dean, esteemed lecturer, and honored professor, and my fellow law student, eager to delve into the principle of rule of law. Allow me to introduce myself. This humble servant of yours name is Muhammad Alif Raihan Zain. It is both a privilege and an honor, and also a responsibility to serve as the moderator of this esteemed international conference. Today, we gather to explore an incredible and timely significant theme: navigating creativity and control, balancing freedom and regulation in the digital economy era. This conference offers us a platform to examine the intersection of freedom and regulation, a topic vital importance in era where digital innovation transforms every aspect of our lives. Now, kindly allow me to explain the rationale behind our chosen theme. In the era of rapid technological advancement, the digital economy has emerged as a driving force reshaping our societies. However, this transformation brings with a dual challenge, a duality, fostering creativity and innovation, while ensuring responsible regulation. This conference is dedicated to exploring the delicate balance between freedom, whether in contract or expression, and the need to control to safeguard public interest and uphold ethical standards. Our discussion will focus on two pivotal issues. First, we will discuss the limits of freedom of contract in managing essential intellectual property, products in digital economy transformation, ensuring they strike a balance between fostering innovation and promoting accessibility. Second, the rise of content creator community between freedom and catastrophe, examining its potential to educate and inspire while addressing challenge like misinformation and unethical practices. Through this discussion, we aim to uncover actionable solutions that optimize of all, we are all honored in here today to have Prof. Steven Koos from University of Bundeswehr, München, who have come far away from here, from Germany. Guten Morgen, Professor. Thank you for attending this humble conference of ours. You may step aside into the podium. Secondly, we have Prof. Hayan Ulhak from University of Utrecht and University of Mataram. We are delighted to have you in here, Professor. Thank you. Third, we have Dr. Mutia Sakti, SHMH, from our beloved University UPN Veteran Jakarta. And last, we have Dr. Rafisah Abu Hassan from Mara Technological University, Malaysia. We are very delighted and honored to have all of you in here in this humble conference of ours. Thank you for attending this conference. Now, I will briefly summarize their curriculum vitae starting from Professor Steven Koos. Professor Steven has an impressive educational and professional background. He earned his bachelor degree in law and political science from Wurzburg, followed by a legal internship and completing his first and second state law examination between 1991 and 1940. In 1996, he obtained his doctorate in law from University of Constance. His professional experience includes serving as a judge at local court in Stratoda, working as a research assistant at the University of Constance, and holding a professorship in civil law, commercial, and economy law at UniBW Munich since 2004. He has also been a consultant for the World Bank project in Romania and a visiting professor at various universities in Indonesia since 2011. And next, for Professor Hayan Ulhak, he has a distinguished academic and professional background. He holds a bachelor degree in private law from University of Mataram, Indonesia, a master law LLM in intellectual property from the University Technology of Sydney, Australia, and is a doctorate in law PhD at Law School Utrecht University. Professionally, he served as a lecturer in intellectual property at Law Faculty of University of Mataram, Indonesia. He has also been a visiting lecturer at Summer Institute for Global Justice, Law Faculty of Utrecht, and Washington University in 2006, and at Roosevelt Academy, Middelburg, Utrecht University in 2007. Additionally, his contribution to the field include publishing in various articles on intellectual property, investment, corporate, and contract law. Next, we have our beloved lecturer, Dr. Mutia Sakti. She is a dedicated lecturer at Law Faculty of Law, UPN Veteran Jakarta, our beloved university, where she served as the head of study program. She holds a doctorate in business law from Universitas 11 Maret, and both her bachelor and master degree in law from UPN Veteran Jakarta. She has published a total of 17 articles and research, and is a certificate legal auditor, internal quality auditor, and halal certificator. Dr. Mutia actively participates in community service and research, focusing on areas such as consumer protection, halal certification, and legal education. She is known for her commitment to legal education and innovation. And last, for Dr. Rafisah Abu Hassan, she is a senior lecturer at Faculty of Law, UTM, Shah Alam. She holds a Doctor of Philosophy from University Technology of Mara, and a Diploma in Sharia and Legal Practice from International Islamic University of Malaysia, with 21 years of teaching experience, she specialized in ethics of legal profession, civil family law, Islamic family law, criminal law, and business law. As matter subject, expert in criminal justice, family law, administration of estate, and ethics of legal profession. We are happy for all of your attendance in today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's begin this conference. To our first speaker, Professor Stephen Coos. The time is yours, Professor Stevens.
Oke, ada kendali jauh untuk presentasi? Yeah. Okay. This presentation here is a very spontaneous shortage of my lecture about AI and copyright. And actually this is one part of a research I do in the moment about paradigmatical change of the law in the technical globalization and digital globalization. So there are many aspects of the law, traditional aspects of the law in the system which will change with the digitalization, including that we will see a diminishing of law and a replacement of law by technological aspects and technological security aspects, you know. And this is one part of it, and I would like to give you a very short overview about some issues of the copyright law as a paradigm for the intellectual property right connected with the use and especially also the training of the AI, so the input and the output factor. But the main important aspect for today is actually the impact to the society and to the creativity and to the future of creativity. So this is an exception here that we see a picture here, which is of course AI generated, and usually I don't do that anymore. So until last year I made these illustrations, but because the people were very impressed by these illustrations, including myself. But nowadays nobody is impressed anymore because any idiot can do that, and that means I mean it's ridiculous to make presentations with all these illustrations. So my presentations are now very simple. And I think this is the better thing. You see already one thing is important, yeah? We have a regression, yeah? We have a regression to back, to the conservatism. And this is really important to keep that in mind when we talk about our topic. Let's start with it. How is it? Where is it? Oh, yeah. So when we talk about the AI and the copyright, then we have basically three aspects. One thing is the reproduction of the protected works, is their infringement by the output. So use of the AI is making output, and this output can resemble or can be similar or can be even same like something which was used for training or even which is not used for training. That is why it's so dangerous for students to use the AI without critically checking it, because you can never know whether it is copying something and would be infringing copyright. The second aspect is a rather general aspect, not yet really covered by the law and especially not by the intellectual property right, the mass production of I make design fake works mimicking known authors. This is something which is not covered by the copyright law, because copyright law, as usually the intellectual property right, is not covering ideas. So if I have a certain style as an author, or I have a certain idea about a series of books, that is not protected. Anyone can mimicking me as an author, yeah, can use my style and write something, or can make follow-ups for Harry Potter books, yeah, just using the idea of Harry Potter. This is not protected, and normally this is not a problem for us, because usually we need a long time for writing a book. But with AI, it might be possible to produce this in a very short time in a big mass, and we have a flood of this. So we might have to think in the future maybe to extend intellectual property right to this. And the third aspect is, and this is also, by the way, a commercial aspect, also competition aspect. And the third aspect is the training aspect. This is the input aspect, training input, because we use copyrighted work for training AI models. And that is a different problem than the output. We produce similar products. Oh, this way. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Just maybe starting with some example. This is a famous case from United States, Sarah Anderson et al. Against Stability AI. So this is a picture-making artificial intelligence model. And you see on the left side the original photo art of that artist, and on the right side you see what the AI produced. Before we discuss that, we must know how AI produced something. AI is nothing innovative. Yeah, so maybe you think AI is what we have is innovative. Maybe you think we have, oh, this is revolutionary and soon we will be replaced by it. It is old-fashioned. AI, the model of the machine learning, and what we use it in ChatGPT or Claude or so, this is nothing else than the machine learning principle which we know since the end of the 50s and the 60s of the 20th century. What is new is the high capacity of storing data, collecting data, and processing data, and the computing power. We did not have that. So actually what we use is statistic on steroid. Yeah? It is just statistical pattern detection with an incredible number of data, a pretty amount of data. We could not do that before, but now we can do it. So this is, by the way, also the main aspect for the law of the future in the digital area, because actually the data is the main aspect. Also here in the AI, we don't talk about AI as the main problem, we talk about data gathering as the main problem, because the data has a lot of functions nowadays. The data is making the platforms work, the data is making the AI powerful, the data is a privacy aspect, the data is a competition aspect, because you can use data as a power instrument. So this is the future, and we must talk about data before we talk about imagined new aspect of AI. So now what happened here, this is not an exact copy of the picture, and that is not surprising because AI is not reproducing something. So even if you use something for training the AI, this is not in the end a data bank of the training data. Of course, first there is a data bank, they use it for the training. After the training is done, they delete the data bank. So in the model there is not the data. This is not the picture stored somewhere in the model and then you reproduce it. What the AI does is using the training knowledge in a technical way, using the whitings, the statistical whitings, and then reproducing something after a statistical, we say nilai, yeah. So it's a statistical assessment, yeah. And so that it sometimes very seldom happens that what it produces is very similar to the training data. It is not well known how that happens. We call it memorization. It is actually not really awaitable that it happens often because the system is not done for that, but it happens. And I saw last week a picture about what is AI, explanation of AI. And you see this tally here, yeah, and there is input. And then it makes like that, and then output. So even the programmers, even the trainers of AI models have no idea how the AI is producing the output based on the training data. Yeah, you cannot say, let's program this and give that picture to the training data and then this picture will come out. It is not working like that. Yeah, so this is indeed a problem, and you can say, well, it is maybe not a clear copy, but it is copying a lot of the aspects of the picture, actually all, yeah? There is a bird, and then there is an owl, and then there is an angel, and so in German copyright law, we would maybe say it's already almost actually resembling, yeah? It's actually a copy, but at least it is, as they mentioned, a 21st century collage tool. And the problem is the exploitation of the creativity here, because even if we say, okay, this is not really copyright infringement, even if we said that, there is an exploitation aspect because they could never do this without using my copyrighted data for their training. So they produce a model which is commercialable, and this one is producing concurrence output for my own creativity. And this is, of course, an exploitation aspect, but also here we would say it could be a copyright infringement, and the question is it allowed to use this data, this training data, for producing that and for disturbing the market maybe of licenses for training works and so on. So this is indeed a very interesting example, and it is also very interesting how they call it the 21st century collage tool. So it's actually basically a collage, right? And the second case I would like to discuss is the New York Times versus OpenAI and Microsoft is even more impressive. In the New York Times versus AI and OpenAI and Microsoft, the output of the AI was literally, almost literally the same like an article from the New York Times which was used for the training, literally. So the aspect here is, of course, again, the input S issue. Were they allowed to use articles from New York Times for their training? And the second is here the output issue. Are they allowed, or is it a problem that it produce the same text again? So this is, as we know, not reproducing. It is statistically produced, but actually it is set together in a new way. It's not like reproducing what is stored in a model, because it's not stored in a model. But we cannot say, is it not at all represented, because the weighting of the training data is still in the model. In the statistical, in this neuronal network, is in the training data is represented, but it's not a storing in the way of the, as we know, it's storing in a hard disk or something. And the problem here was also a competition law aspect, because of course New York Times says, well, you produce a direct concurrence product to our editorial product by using our products. Yeah? So you exploit our products to produce not only a model which you can commercialize in the market, but your model can be also used to spoil our market for news or for texts, yeah, or for publications. And this is, again, very strong output issue, and is also very important because it shows that we have many aspects, not only the copyright, we have also the competition law aspect. We have a very disruptive aspect here when it comes to the results of the use of the AI. And the question is, should we have it so liberal, or should we somehow limit it? And the last case is a very short, it's the newest case from Germany. This Robert Kneschke is a photographer giving a photo to Big Stock. And Big Stock has a license condition that it is not allowed to use it for automated exploitation. So they could not use it for the training, actually, but they did. And this is the question is, do we have to limit, maybe, the exclusive right of the copywriter in the interest of the training? So this is the way around from the other side, yeah? Is it an infringement? Yes, but if it's an infringement, is that infringement a problem, or should we allow the infringement in the light of innovation? Because if we forbid the use of the training data, we cannot train the systems. So maybe we must make it more liberal to be able to keep step with the American or Chinese who have already these systems. Yeah? So the question how liberal we should be with that. And there is, in the United States law, we have the principle of the fair use. And in the European law, we have the text and data mining limitations, which might be applicable. And this district court of Hamburg said it is applicable. So there is the text and data mining exception. And very interesting is that the defendant said, well, but there must be an opt-out of the author, right? And the opt-out is not machine readable, it's not code. They made it in natural language. So this is not enough, because the directive says must be machine readable. Interesting is that the German court did not let them fool them, because the German court said, hey, you market an open AI system claiming that it is able to work with natural language, but when it comes to the reading of the opt-out, you say it is not able to read natural language. It cannot be. So the opt-out can be natural language. So this is more or less some examples for it, and it shows mostly here the input, but also the output aspect. And when we talk about the legal qualification of the AI training process, we can say, yeah, clearly, functionally, that is an issue for the copyright, because it at least a temporary storing of the copyrighted data. However, it is very important to say that if it's temporary, we have a problem with the application of our regulations. So European AI regulation is not applicable for copyright if it's not taking place in the territory of the European Union. So the question is it just temporary, or is it permanent? If it's permanent, then it's still in the system, and then we would have an application of the European law. This is a problem for the future. We cannot go too deep because we don't have the time. And for the future, we must think about the exceptions, and Indonesia has not the text and data mining exception. And I think there is discussion about the fair use in Indonesian literature, but it's not very concrete. So Indonesia has a problem if it comes to how we protect copyrighted data of Indonesian authors when it comes to the collecting of the data, because there's no clear decision of the law about that, and it maybe should be amended. However, Indonesia has the problem that you also have collective intellectual property rights, like Pelindungan Budaya. Yeah, this is collective, and if we think about licensing system for the copy, for the training, then it is a question how to realize that with collective intellectual property rights. Yeah? So this is indeed a problem for the future. Now, is that copyright protected what we produce with that? Yeah? And this is a basic question, whether who is the owner of what you produce with the AI? And the criteria for a protection in copyright would be, is it a significant creative work of a human being? Yeah, because for copyright in Germany, in Indonesia, we need a significant intentionality, emotions, experience. It must be creative work of a human. Yeah, so copyright cannot be done by just a machine in the moment. So the question is how we handle that in the future if someone use the AI. I used to say that we actually are already hybrids. We actually are already cyborgs. We are creative cyborgs, because we replace part of our human creativity with machine. And a cyborg is a human body replacing certain organs with machines. Yeah? So our creativity is our metaphysical organ, and we replace it with machine. We are already cyborgs. So the question is, when we start to be a machine in the sense of creativity, and when we end to be a human in the sense of creativity? This is a very important question. It will be difficult. So theoretically, it's easy. Theoretically, we say if AI is the tool of the human creator, then it's copyright, then it's creative. Yeah, it's just a tool. When there is the design decision by AI, or absolutely autonomous by the AI, or at least mostly by AI, then there is no copyright. And if the design decision is shared between human and AI, we must think how far is the impact of the human creativity, or how far is the impact of the machine? And this is, of course, difficult. So we have contradictory decisions about that. In US, there was a rejection of a copyright lastly from an author, an artist using AI to make, I think, mangas, yeah, so with AI. And the authority said, this is not copyrightable because you cannot compare the use of AI graphic with a pen which you paint, because with a pen you know what comes out, but if you feed the AI with a prompt, you never know what it makes. So if I told the AI, I uploaded a photo of mine and said, make a caricature of me eating a banana, yeah, and I got, I think, 30 different versions of it, and only 2 were a little bit similar to me. But it was never foreseeable what comes out, yeah? Even if I always recheck, everything something different. So this is very, very important, that we cannot really clearly say when is the limit for the creativity given, or when is the limit overstepped. And very slow, yeah. So in the future we might need other concepts for that, and in the British law, I think in Malaysia maybe too, but surely in New Zealand, there is the alternative of computer-generated works. And computer-generated works is an interesting concept because it could be also transferred to Indonesian law when we talk about the electronic agent. The electronic agent, it doesn't matter for me systematically whether you have a worker, an employee of your company, and the employee of your company make something for your company, and the intellectual property right goes to your company, even if the creative work was done by the employee, or you use an AI or a computer or a machine for that. Yeah? So because intellectual property right has not only this humanistic background, it has also the investment background. And you invest in an equipment, and the investment should lead to the assignment of the value of the results from the use of the investment. Yeah? So it is actually understandable that we can assign the results economically, but also, of course, the risks to the person who use it for its own egoist purpose. It's working now. It's gone. So if we are not the users, if we are not the creative part, and is the AI under normal concepts, is the AI can the AI be the author? And yeah, this is a long story. We could make a presentation about that. But Indonesian authors sometimes discuss that. Yeah, is AI a criminal, possible criminal? Is AI a copywriter? Can AI be a legal person? Yeah, we know several reality theory and fiction theory. This is, but in the moment, I think this is no way acceptable that AI could be a legal person. At least if we stay in the humanistic concept of the legal personality. However, what I want to mention in this, in the research in Indonesia, sometimes often they confuse the question of liability for AI with the question of the legal personality. So they discuss concepts of, can companies be liable for something happening when there is something in the, some oil in the sea or something like that? Can be the board capable to be criminal liability, but mostly we discuss about concepts of liability. And the concept of liability we can solve without making AI a legal person. Because again, here helps us the idea of agent. If we have an electronic agent, the electronic agent causes a problem, we can assign risks to a human being or to a company. So this is, in the moment, not yet a problem. We will have to discuss it again when we have absolutely autonomous items doing something, and we have maybe a problem to assign something to a person. Yeah? So this is a much deeper problem because we come here to organizational responsibility, and we will turn away from individual responsibilities because nobody can control these items or these entities anymore, or these really complex organizations. So anyway, it will not fit. It is, I think, clear, because AI, even if we say AI would be a legal person, the copyright is not fitting under the concept we have it now, because the copyright concept is based on personality concept, and personality concept is based on the human dignity. That's why we are not having a fitting concept, even if we decided for pragmatical reason that AI should be an entity where we, for pragmatical reason, assign certain responsibilities or something like that. So we need a different concept for that in any way. Now, in the end of the presentation, I would like to speak about the social impact and also the cultural impact of the AI. Let me see if it works again. That one I forgot. It's very interesting that some courts start to say AI can be inventor. In Australia that happened. Germany just right now decided AI can under no circumstance be an inventor because AI cannot have a legal personality. So if AI invents something, and this DABO system is an inventing system, AI cannot be an inventor because it has no legal entity. And when we compare that with the Australians, this is very interesting. I want to mention that because it is also methodologically important for you to understand about that. We have also a Davos case in Australia, where the Australian Supreme Court, I think, where is it coming? In the Tala decision, the Federal Court of Australia ruled that the AI, the Davos system, is indeed the inventor. You know, and then now you have mahasiswa in Indonesia writing an article, and then, wow, I found decision, yeah? AI can be inventor. Wow, this is innovative. AI can be legal person, yeah? Because we're doing this based on the civil law, yeah? And, but if you read this decision in the correct way, then we see there is a difference between being an inventor and being the owner of the patent. That the owner of the patent needs legal personality. Being inventor is not needing legal personality. Because Anglo-Saxon law, especially Australian and British law, know this aspect of the machine invention, and the machine is an agent. So see, on one side important for you, because in ETA law you have the electronic agent. You could develop it to this. But it is not at all saying here that inventor is the owner of the patent. So for ownership of the patent, you must have a legal personality, and you don't have it. And sorry, I cannot spare you that, but I always bring this citation. I love it. What the Australian court says here. This is no chance that any German court would ever write like this. Yeah, explaining it, and I like the last sentence. Yeah, so you see. 1767, yeah, old millennium usage of what word? If words are only pictures of ideas upon paper, just don't deal around with the word inventor. Why not inventor? And then the last sentence, isn't that wonderful? I need to grapple with the underlying idea, recognizing the evolving nature of patentable inventions and their creators. We are both created and create. Why cannot our own creations also create? The concept is not comparable with the concept in Germany, and also not in Netherlands, and also not in Indonesia. So it's dangerous if you make research using American, British, Australian articles or decisions without critically thinking about the differences in the concepts of the law, yeah? So this is a good example for what goes wrong sometimes in the research, yeah? So I was thinking this is quite interesting. So now let's come to the question of the social impact. And the question of the social impact was really worrying me. Because I was thinking when it starts, why I should in the future be creative? Why I should in the future make a lot of effort to write an article? If any idiot can feed his AI with my articles and write an article which is not a plagiat because it sounds totally different. It's totally different wording, yeah? You can do everything with that. I always, when I'm in conferences and someone talk about plagiarism, then I always switch off my ears because it's not interesting. It's so boring because plagiarism is anachronistic. Nobody needs plagiarism. Only idiots need plagiarism. Idiots who cannot use the AI. Yeah, because if you use the AI, you don't need to make plagiarism. Yeah, so plagiarism should be punished in two ways because first of all, because you do plagiarism, and second, because you're too stupid to use the tool in a proper way. Yeah, so it's punishable for two reasons. Yeah. So but indeed, yeah, if you have no idea about growing roses and you need an article about growing roses, you feed it with articles about growing roses and voila, you have article about growing roses. So why I should write articles about growing roses from my own brain in the future? So why we should do that? And what will it what will it do with our perception of creativity? Why I should buy a book in the future if I can produce my own book? Some people say already we will not watch Netflix anymore or go to the cinema. We will have a beamer at home and connected with AI, and then we design our own movies every evening, and that will make the movies interaction movies. Yeah, every evening our own movies. So we have a flute of products already now, and we don't know anymore which is really done by human and which is produced cheap by AI. In the moment is still not so problematic because if I read navigating or delve into, I know, oh, AI, yeah? But it was getting better and better. So why we should be creative? Will we self-fertilize our culture all the time because we learn from AI and AI learns from the text from AI and then it's just a circle? Yeah, nobody writes anything anymore. So the question is what will happen? And I think one side says, in Germany I read an article that said, this is democratization of the culture. The AI will make the culture more colorful, more democratic, more free, because nobody needs to know anything, nobody needs to be able to do anything. Anyone can make culture. Anyone can do culture. We don't need expensive editorials, we don't need expensive shops for artwork. Anyone can make art. The German language used the word Kunst for art. Kunst comes from können, to can. So if I make art, I should be able to do it. So art is also to be able to do something not anyone can do. So if anyone can do it, is it art? This is the question, right? So democratization, well, I doubt that, yeah? So it will not democratize the art, it will destroy the art maybe. Democratization is true in one sense, you all are not native speakers maybe, I'm also not a native speaker. We are under the cultural imperialism of the Anglo-Saxon countries, yeah, because they can meet us as native speaker in their conferences, and we all the time have to use pidgin English to participate there, and they're always better, right? I mean, they can write better, they can speak better, and AI will help us, yeah? AI democratized the research, because people like us can also participate with good papers. Nobody has to write papers in his own, with his own accent. This is maybe, but the rest is not really very good. But maybe there is hope, because I call it the retrocultural reaction. I mean, you know, this one here is a mechanical watch. Why I wear a mechanical watch? There is Apple Watch, there is Quartz watch. You can have a Quartz watch for $1. It's more exact than any mechanical watch. Some people buy mechanical watch for $100,000 and wear it. Why they do that? Why people use vinyl, music from vinyl? Yeah, or something like that. Why people do that? Because people like it. Because people are bored. The more we filled up with synthetic produced art and creativity, the more we are bored. And if we are bored, then we might have the idea, hey, let's go to the better things. So maybe there will be an industry of editorials, of producers who guarantee us the product is done by a human being. And there will be maybe even certification agencies and industry for certify that, maybe with blockchain technology or something like that. And that will not democratize us, it will make it expensive, because this kind of art or this kind of literature will be paid by much money. So maybe the art in the future, the creativity is for the rich, and the poor will have the cheap AI culture and the cheap AI text. So this is what I call retrocultural reaction, and this is, we must await what comes up. I hope it will not be that bad. The last aspect is it fake if we use AI when we make articles? I mean, we talk about creativity, but in the legal scripture, in the legal article writing, it's not about creativity, right? I mean, it's about transfer of knowledge. So some people say, but it's not good to use AI for making articles. I use it. I use it, I mention it. In the future, we will not even mention it anymore. It's a transition problem. Some people say it's a fake paper if you use AI. The work for us as researchers in the future is not producing works. Producing works in the writing is absolutely irrelevant. Nobody is interested. Is this work written by the hand, by typing something by hand, or is it produced by AI? The future of research is the prompting, the idea giving to the prompt, and the controlling, not the work, not the producing a text. Yeah. So who produces a text? Nobody will be interested anymore. So if some universities say we don't want that the students write their bachelor thesis with AI, this is a transition problem. That will be over. I think we should not discuss about that. We should rather find ways how we control. Is it really a creative idea or is it not? Is it boring or is it not? Is it just summarizing a lot of articles which were already written by someone, or is it not? Is there mistakes? Is it hallucinating or not? If my students hallucinate, they get big deal down. Yeah? Even if they use AI and it's good and creative, they get up. But if it's a little bit mistake, they get down. So this is no fake at all. In my opinion, there we will have a gap in the copyright law, in the intellectual property right, because as I mentioned, the idea is not protected. And if important is the idea and the prompting to the system and the controlling, that is exactly not what we protect, right? So maybe we need in the future a little bit development of a new sui generis copyright or sui generis intellectual property right, also covering a certain aspect of idea, covering maybe the prompting or covering this process. The question is how we prove it. That's from me for today, because we don't have that much time. Yeah, so actually this is a much longer presentation. I hope I gave you a good overview about the issues. And let me just finish with just mentioning that even if we make regulations in Indonesia, that will not really solve the problem, because the main issue here, the overarching issue of all digitalization, is ubiquity. We don't have territorial power anymore about these platforms. And that means even if we find solutions in our law, on the long term, it will not help anymore if we are not extraterritorial and don't have the power to regulate something extraterritorial. So long term, we will need different kind of protection of ourselves by technical measurements, maybe counter AIs. We use AIs for protect ourselves. We use AI bots. We use blockchain technology. So this is also, in a certain way, a transitional problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that remarkable presentation, Professor Stephen. It is a truly in-depth psych about the AI, especially since I think as a law student, we are the last battalion for this AI problem. It is a moral dilemma, a quite hard problem to guess and an abstract concept. Hence why either AI will end the academic and artistic people, or will it be a new kind of...
And as you said before, it's also an innovative aspect, because we can limit the AI training, for example, in our regulations, what European Union does, but we punish our own companies, because the big platform companies of the US, they can finance everything, every fine, and also every license, yeah? China is anyway not caring about that, and but we have small and medium companies, and small and medium companies have not the financial power to deal with that. So if we forbid them to use the copyrighted data for the training of our models, we will never take step with Americans. This is the dilemma between the innovation and the protection.
Indeed, it feels like a David and Goliath situation. Thank you so much, Professor. Okay, I think we will move on to our second speaker, Prof. Hayan Ul Haq. The time is yours, Professor.
Harus ada jeda. Baik, thank you very much for these invitations, Mr. Herman, Professor Herman, the Dean of Law Faculty of UPN. Ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to talk about the limits of the freedom of contracts, in particular in optimizing the essential intellectual property products. If you look at these issues, why we have to limit the freedom of contract, particularly for essentials intellectual property, because there is a rapid progress and sophisticated progress and sophisticated inventions and innovations, not only in technological areas in the field of automotive or the infrastructure. But the problem now, the inventions and innovations come into the human and biotech issues. And it will damage it may potentially damage the human dignity. This issue has been sparked by the some works from Professor Greg Twee in Leuven University that remind us about the needs of limitations of the freedom of contract in optimizing the essentials intellectual property. If we look at these situations now. Oh, sorry, I have to. This is. Huh? Yeah, I have. Oh, yeah. Already on. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. If you look at these technological disruptions, I have to inform about the situations about the unlimited freedom, particularly in exploiting the human intellectuals. For example, if you look at the data from WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organizations, there are more than 60 million patents that have been patented in our civilizations. Now they came into the patenting of the DNA. Even though in 2013, the United States Supreme Court already canceled Yeah, they block the patterns of DNA, yeah, or the micro or the living things, yeah, living things, because like what we call about the human dignity. Yeah, if we look at these situations, now we have come into the era, yeah, where everyone can exploit their own intellectuals, their own aspirations, their own imaginations in order to do many things. Yeah? They came into the freedom of contract, and the free will thought already paved the people to do, yeah, anything, yeah, under freedom of contract. Yeah? If everyone has rights to exploit their own rights and their own capitals, for example, yeah, it will accumulate all of the resources, yeah, that may be controlled by one or two or certain corporations. Like Professor Stephen Coase mentions about the dilemma between the gigantic corporations and the small and medium corporations. Even in Germany, yeah, it means that the state should be exist in order to make a balancing, yeah, the relations, balance the relations between the gigantic and the small and medium corporations. But if we look at these situations, now, if it exists in the international era, the national government cannot do anything in order to intervene the international maneuvers, yeah, from the multinational corporations. So, if, yeah, the big or gigantic corporations try to exploit their own resources, their own human resource and capital, yeah, they will cluster all of the resources, not only at the physical things, but also at the intellectual intellectual domains. So that's why Professor Garrett Hardin in 1962, yeah, when he published his works about the tragedy of commons, he reminded us about the danger of potential danger of freedom of free will, yeah, that has been paved by the freedom of contract. Yeah. Because the freedom of contract may allow everyone to do anything based on the legal things. Yeah. If you look at the situations in Indonesia, according to report of World Resource International, more than 4.8 million hectares of forest has been demonized by certain or by corporations. Yeah. Even now, we look at the situations in Kalimantan. There are so many palm plantations that have been started up in the forest of our forest treasury. Yeah, it may damage the biodiversity and herms that exist in Indonesia. This is the situations. If we allow them, yeah, based on the freedom of contract, they will create what we call the tragedy of common. Yeah, tragedy of common is a kind of string situations about our natural or collective resource that are controlled by many corporations. Because if one corporation can be allowed to exploit others, yeah, so we cannot block others, corporations, in order to do the same things. Yeah, so if many corporations try to exploit many things, it will create what we call scarcity of our collective resources. Yeah, these situations actually same, yeah, that we have that we faced in intellectual property era, because everyone has right to patent his own intellectual resource, intellectual works. If now, every entity or persons has right to do the things, they try to block others in order to use their own intellectual property resource or knowledge. Because if you look at information and knowledge as well as intellectual works, should be put in the public resources. But if the public resource like information, knowledge, and other technological essential things are blocked by patent of the certain corporations, then it may create what we call the anti-commons, tragedy of anti-commons. This is the situation why we need to limit the freedom of contract, particularly in exploiting the essentials intellectual property. The essentials intellectual property refers to the highly needed by the highly needed works or issues or informations that are needed by people or corporations in order to survive. For example, now Qualcomm corporations should face many lawsuits, because the corporations try to patent many patented essential patent in digital or digital tools, particularly in smartphones, and these situations may block other developer of intellectual property or in technology or other infrastructure technological developer to develop their plan or their potentials in strengthening their corporations. This is the situation. So if we let this, it will create the uncertainty and complexity in our social systems. This is why I said the situations may drive us or drag us into the threats of disparity, discontinuity, as well as scarcity in order to continue or to sustain our collective life. This is the reasons, the rationales why we should limit the freedom of contract. I think you can search later in my PPT. But I have already explained about the reasons why we need to that. So the navigating, why in order to control that, refers to the theme, the theme of this seminar international, navigating and control. So we need to navigate the directions of our utilizations of intellectual property, as well as many resources, essential resources. The standard or indicators that we can use is first ethic, the second humanity, and the third one is basic values or core objectives of law that have been indicated by Gustav Radbruch, the legal philosopher from Germany, Professor Stephen Kow's brothers, Professor Gustav Radbruch said about the concept, if we try to, or we want to develop our strategy, our project, our contract, or the norms, it should be based on this usefulness, legal certainty, and justice. But I should add this, not only usefulness, legal certainty, and justice, but we need to guarantee our unity in our collective life in order to guarantee the sustainability of collective life. So this is the indicator. It means that all of the contracts, that should be signed, must be based on this. The contract, cannot be late, cannot be tolerated if they trace or infringe the ethics, humanity, and these basic values. So I don't talk about only legal enforcement, but now I talk about the importance of ethical enforcement. Ethical enforcement in order to balancing the freedom of contract of corporations in order to do many things. This is as well as humanity. Why I said humanity? Because humanity is one values, one fundamental framework that have been constructed not only in Indonesia but also in international legal framework like Universal Declarations of Human Rights. Requires the respecting, not only respecting, but also protecting and fulfilling the human rights principles. So it means that every policy, every contract, should respect, should protect, and should fulfill, the elements of humanity. It is impossible, to do the contracts, when the contract contain the black clauses. If I'm not mistaken, in Germany or in Europe, European Union block black clauses in the contract, because the black clause is the prohibitions. But in Indonesia, there is no institutions that can block or that can scrutinize the components of black clauses. Every clause only registered under Intellectual Property Directorate General Kekayaan Intelektual. If we look at in Brazil or in China, every contract that come into the China or to Brazil should be scrutinized by the screening institutions. There is a certain screening institutions in order to scrutinize every clauses, whether the clauses may contain the black clauses, and they try to classify it, whether black clauses, gray clauses, or white clauses. But in Indonesia, there is no one classifications about that. This is the situations. All of the contracts only, they're like a contract license under Indonesian patent law, only registered, not in scrutinized, the substantively. This is the scope, but I should skip. How to the challenge now? How to control? How to navigate? How to navigate and to control the contracts? Based on the freedom of contracts. If you look at this, the situations now, we face many controversial cases in ethics of essential intellectual property. Like I mentioned, there is one biological scholars from China. When he did the research in Stanford University, he received a kind of laureate Nobel in the field of biology. When he success to create baby designers, they can design a baby that would be born. Yeah. And they completed the technology in stop the process of birth, yeah, before at the prenatal actions. If the babies contains the defect gene, then they can find it. They can find it, the defect gene. Afterwards, it would be injected by the technology like euthanasia genetica. This is the situations, yeah, the technological development that may threats the human dignity of our people. Yeah, this is just examples. And when I showed you, this is the controversial cases. All of this, yeah, may potentials to damage and to threats the human dignity. For that reasons, we need two things. Like they can formulate this seminar international, navigate and control. How to navigate it and control this. And in my point of view, we can navigate and control this by, yeah. I think, yeah. Like this is yeah. We have to navigate this. Oh. Yeah. First, before I come into the ideas how to navigate, I would like to elaborate a little bit about the philosophical reasons why we need to protect the human being, why we need to respect, why we should respect the human dignity. Because if you look at this this theory, yeah, but basically in our life there are three components. Yeah, there is a material elements, physiospheres. Yeah, yeah. We can sign in A. Yeah, and then life element, biosphere, the bio or the living things. Yeah, and the third consciousness elements. If we look at this, yeah, all of our materials like chairs, tables, and material things. Yeah, that's just material things. Even all of the universe, yeah, all of the universe and its substance, just a material things, and it exists in the level A. The first level, in the level A, that's a material, level 1. The upper level, in philosophical perspective, there are a flora and fauna. Because flora and fauna are living things, not the material things only. The level 2, or A and B, consists of two elements. Yeah? First, material and life, A and B. And the highest level are human beings, because we come into the self, yeah, self diri, yeah, consists of material, jasad kita material, B our life, and C is our consciousness. It means that, yeah, this is the concept of Hegel, the Germanic philosopher. Why they elaborate about the concept of personality from the self-consciousness is the basic of personality, to explain why in Germany are prohibited to provide the protection to the algorithm. because there is no consciousness, there is no personality, like you mentioned in your presentations, Professor Kos. Then, I absolutely agree with your point. The self is the basic or the fundamentals of personality, yeah, that differ us to the flora and fauna, as well as all of the universe in here. It means that the highest positions of all of materials, yeah, are the human dignity. Human dignity should be put in the top, yeah, based on the degree of respectfulness. So it means that all of the contract, all of the policy should be dedicated to respect, to protect, and to provide fulfillment, yeah, for the personality, for the human dignity. This is my standpoint, yeah, why we need to navigate and why we need to control all of the freedom of contracts. Yeah. This is so. In this context, I try to see the model of our traditional contract, like exists in our Indonesian Barherlik Wetboek. Yeah. There's a try to linear pattern, pre-contract, contract, post-contract, and it will be terminated until the agreement that have been signed, particularly for the longitudinal contract. The point of questions, if there is a deviances in the implementations of the contract, yeah, for example, we already signed many contracts in exploiting our mining, but on the way, yeah, in the mid of the implementations of the contract, the implementations of contract wreak havoc, yeah, create disaster, natural or like poison environment, like in Papua, for example. How to handle it, the running contract. We have no legal instruments. Yeah, because under traditional contract, if you already signed the contract will be terminated until when you already agreed. But if we face the case in the middle of implementations, you find out the implementations of contract may threat the sustainability of our collective life. What we should do? Yeah. For that reasons, this linear pattern of contract should be changed into the circular like this. So, in my point of view, pre-contract, yeah, contract and post-contract should be opened up, opportunity for people to renegotiate the pre-contract in order to balancing the implementations of contract and the consequences of the contract. In this model, actually, I borrow the concept of a Germanic philosopher. It's his name Habermas. Habermas, in his book about the ethic and discourse, mentions about the universalization principle, this U principle. Universalization principle taught us, yeah, every contract, every norms, yeah, should then only validate and endorsed by the contracting parties, but it should be validated and endorsed by the third party that might affected by the implementations of the contract. This is the thought of Habermas in his point of philosophy. So, jadi kontrak itu tidak hanya valid ketika ditandatangani oleh para pihak yang membuatnya saja, tetapi juga dia harus valid ketika dia harus diakui dan di-endorse oleh para pihak yang terkena dampak dari pelaksanaan kontrak. It means that the universalization principle open up new opportunity for the third party in order to challenge the implementations of the contract, for making the balancing, for making protections to their own interests. That's we call their sustainability of collective life. Yeah. So this is the model that we offer in order to revise the national bill of the contracts. We have already discussed several weeks ago in Jakarta, Pak Dekan. Next, last point. This is the model. Yeah, I try to see that and navigate, how to navigate this and how to control. So, principally, in my point of view, the ideal contract is like this. Ideal, exclusive rights, social functions, public interest, fundamental rights in contract should be balanced. Not only provide rooms for exploiting our what we call wants, our wants, our desiredness, in the contract, but our desiredness should be balanced by the social functions, public interest, and fundamental rights in contract. So every contract principally should be functioned to improve the capabilities of everyone, not only contracting parties, but also other parties, that may impact it by the implementations of the contract. So after this framework, the functioning and capabilities may create a kind of ideal creativity and productivity. It allows everyone to create creativity and productivity in order to create the structure, the balanced structure of justice. Balance in a legal terms, we call justice. But if the contract fail to create a balancing or justice, they should be constitutionalized. I offer the constitutionalization of the contract. Actually, this has been I several times mentions about the German traditions because the constitutionalizations of contract has been practiced by the German Constitutional Court. German Constitutional Court have already constitutionalized the private contract between United States corporations, the gigantic corporation, and Germany kan langsung lupa saya diingatkan. Thank you. Saya hanya close lagi sedikit ini. Tapi saya agak gugup dikasih waktu. That's okay. So there is one of gigantic American corporations when he signed a contract with the national Germany corporations in the field of copyright. The contract contains the clauses that might block other parties, particularly the public, to access the information, to develop the information. But under Germany law, he mentions, I read in the decisions, constitutional court decisions, when I visited there and I discussed with the judge also, and when we support the Indonesian Constitutional Court for making cooperations with the Constitutional Court of Germany. He mentions that the Constitutional Court of Germany refers to the European Conventions of Human Rights. under European Conventions of Human Rights, Article 15, he mentions that all of the signed countries that are involved in the European Conventions of Human Rights should provide a protections to their citizens in order to access, first, information, education, health. This is very important. That's what we call essential life. So all of the intellectual property products in essential life cannot be freed. They should be controlled and should be navigated in order to respect, protect, and fulfill the human rights need. So, this is the idea. Yeah. Afterwards, the Constitutional Court of Germany cancelled, dismissed the case, and they try to instruct the corporations cannot the contract cannot be continued or should be revised. Yeah, in order to comply to the principle of the Germany and European constitutional rights. This is the ideas why we need the instrument of constitutionalizations of contract in order to navigate and control all of the resources, not only human, not only natural resources in Indonesia, but also all of the essential intellectual property products, in order to guarantee the balance, the justice, as a basic framework for us towards the congruent structural drift towards the ideal state of social order. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor, for the insightful speech. I totally agree with you, especially since in Indonesia, we still use the old laws, the law that are created by the Dutch, since we are their colony, and we haven't created a new law regarding the contract. And I don't think it's our current law aligned with the idea of Pancasila.
That's good point. Should be Pancasila exist in the like what we have already discussed last week. That's your truth. Pancasila and Constitution must be basics or fundamentals for us to control and navigate all of the contract.
Thank you so much, Professor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now let's move on into our next speaker, Dr. Rafizah Abu Hasan. The time is yours, Doctor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. All right, thank you, Zain. Yang dihormati Bapak Dekan, Bapak Khalik dan juga Haji Imam, and my esteemed speakers, Prof. Stephen, Prof. Hayan, and Dr. Mutia. All right, today I will be discussing the topic, the rise of the content creator community in Malaysia, navigating the balance between freedom and the legal risk. Maybe I can use my own, yeah. So what do I press? Here. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, as content creation is significant to our digital economy, all right, so it is crucial we look at how the content creator navigate the fine lines between the freedom of speaking or expression and also the legal responsibilities. And with this, I will dive into the overview, content creator against influencer, what are the driving forces of content creation, the legal challenges, and how we navigate the legal landscape and how we go forward. Nah, saya mau nanya. All right. Now, how many of you today have spent your time on scrolling your social media? How many hours have you do that? How many hours do you do that in a day?
12 hours.
Yeah, hours. And hands up to those this morning, all right, who have scrolled more than twice. Anybody? More than twice today. Yeah, that's what we do, right? So, setiap hari ya. So, and if we go on scrolling, all right, there are chances that we look at the content creations that we have here, all right? So now we have these platforms that we scroll through, and there are vast of information that we can get, all right? For example, social entertainment, like here in Indonesia, who is famous? Raditya? Yeah, famous, yeah? All right, like lifestyles, we have Fasha, what's the name? Tasha Farasha. All right, and for example, we have like social, Najwa, is she famous here? Yeah, because she's also, I also look at Najwa, okay. So, and what they do, all right, the content that they give us impacted us, all right, because we look at the content, all right, and that shapes us how we consume information. Now, what's the difference between, there's a thin line, the difference between content creator and influencer. Now, content creator, they produces original material to entertain, educate, or engage audiences. But influencer, they go one step forward. What do? Any influencer here? Any famous? Sometimes the students in Malaysia, they are also influencer with many followers. All right, and now this influencer, they use their authority, all right, to promote brands and whatever they wanted to promote. And what is content? The content is the magic, all right? The content is that can take in many forms, such as videos, blog, podcasts, graphics, photos, or articles. Now, let us talk about the driving forces of content creation. Why is it they are booming, not only in Malaysia, Indonesia, but worldwide? All right, one of the reason is the growth of digital and social media reach. So I'm sure everybody here have a handphone, right? All right, so, and it is very accessible, all right, not only having the smartphone usage, but also it's very cheap. I think it's affordable to everyone, right, to have a smartphone. And also, we have these popular platforms, all right, and this is their playground, the content creators' playground. We have YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, all right, which is widely used. Okay, now, also, we have monetization opportunities, money. You make money through content creation. You make money through being an influencer. All right, the minute you like, share, and comment, the money will come in. All right, and also we have affiliate marketing. All right, guys, do you know what is affiliate marketing? This influencer, all right, they will give you a link. All right, if you like to buy this, you can click to this link. So the minute you click to the link, they will earn some commission. All right, next we also have technological advancements, all right, the availability of affordable content creation tools, and also improve internet structure. All right, in Malaysia we have 5 gig, 5 gig already. Here in Indonesia, 5 gig or 4 gig, already at 5 gig. So it's very high speed internet. Also, influencer and creator economy. Now, increased demand for authentic voices. Brands are increasingly turning to micro and macro influencers who can deliver authentic, targeted message that resonate their followers. Now, this brand, the companies, they collaborate not only with the famous personalities. Right now, they are using micro. All right, so they want to target their audience. So they know if this brand can carry the students, then they will choose students to be their influencer. And also, it's also the social media platforms also encourage interactivity, and creators often engage directly with their followers, building communities that further enhance brand loyalty. Right, now, government support. It is also very important, right? The Malaysian government has shown interest in supporting the creative industry through initiatives and policies aimed at encouraging local content creation. And we also have corporate sponsorship, all right? So corporations sponsor content creators to produce promotional content, all right? So they don't have to spend a lot of advertising at the billboard, all right? They use influencers, all right, to support the influencer economy and also contribute to its growth. All right, cultural and social appeal. Gen Z, all right, you have this kind of, what do I call, lifestyle that you look at, all right? So this influencer, all right, shapes your mind, shapes how you look at things. Okay, now, not all is glamour, all right, when you do content creation, when you are an influencer. Sometimes you get burnt out, all right, sometimes you have online troll. You know, sometimes netizen ini mengecam ya, di dalam komen-komennya, yeah. And also, they also have to remember that they also have legal responsibilities, all right. In Malaysia, now, although we have freedom of speech and content creation in Malaysia, but we do have our federal constitution. Now, Article 10 of our federal constitution guarantees the right to freedom of speech, expression and assembly, but there are limitations to it, right? So a content creator, you cannot simply post anything which consists of politically sensitive opinions, all right, or anything which is seen as inciting unrest or hatred, even if they claim freedom of speech, all right? So they can express opinions, all right, content creators and influencers, but they must do it responsibly, all right? Creators can share opinions and ideas, they can have the mic to do that, all right? But they must avoid content that may incite racial or religious tensions, defame individuals, or threaten the public order. So they have to have that certain respect on boundaries. Right, now, these are a few of the laws that restrict, all right, the freedom of the content creators in Malaysia. One, we have the CMA, all right, we have the Communications and Multimedia Act. Now, what do they do, all right? It prohibits content deemed offensive, indecent, or fake. All right, content creators risk violating this law if their material is perceived as obscene or misleading. What they do is just they take out whatever that you have put online. All right, they are the watchdog of the community. All right, so if the minute somebody complains, all right, they can always ask you to take this down, or they can take this down for you. All right, next we have, all right, disclosure of sponsored content. All right, so if you're an influencer, all right, if you're a content creator, you know that you have to disclose, all right, like you have to have this hashtag paid partnership, hashtag sponsorship, all right. So influencers, all right, in Malaysia must disclose paid partnerships and sponsored content to ensure transparency and prevent misleading advertising. Now, how to disclose? That's how you do it. Hashtag sponsored. Hashtag you name the brand. All right. So if you don't do this, all right, you can be fined up to ringgit Malaysia 50,000. All right, or your platforms may be issue warnings, or you will ask to remove the post, or they can suspend your accounts. Right. Next, we have the sedition and hate speech concerns. All right, you cannot simply put up a content that could incite racial or religious tension or promote hostility. All right, so if you do this, all right, you can be faced imprisonment up to 3 years or a fine up to 5,000 ringgit or both. All right, so you may face these charges if you do hate speech, all right, including language that discriminates or incites violence. Next, we have defamation risk. All right, you cannot just say something which can defame, all right, an individual or defame any company for that matters. So our Defamation Act 1957, all right, applies to statements made on digital platforms that harm an individual's reputation. Content creators will be at risk to being sued if they make statements that harm an individual reputation. So the fine can go up to imprisonment up to 2 years, all right, if they are found guilty. Next, we have what Prof. Stephen and Prof. Hayan have said about copyright and IP issues in Malaysia. Now, Copyright Act in Malaysia, our Copyright Act, governs the use of creative works, including music, images, video clips, and other original content. Now, if you are found guilty of the offense of using copyrighted material without the permission or proper licensing, or unauthorized reproduction, adaptation, or distribution of copyrighted work, all right, there could be a punishment up to 10,000, all right, or imprisonment up to 5 years. So you cannot just simply use any song as a background for your content creation. Now, we also have privacy and data protection compliance. Now, this is a very big issue in Malaysia, all right. Imagine you are in a coffee shop, all right. Sometimes they will just ask, do you like to sign in something to get reward for whatever? Then you will give your name and your IC and your email address. Now, there are a limit to that in Malaysia as to what extent that they can use the information that you have given, all right? So Section 6 requires the consent from individuals before collecting, processing, or sharing their personal data. All right, and it obligates the data users to take reasonable steps to ensure the security of the personal data they handle. All right, so you're law students, all right, so make sure before you give your personal data or whatever things that you sign, you have to read the fine prints. Okay, so if they are using your data for things that's not supposed to, all right, they can be creating an offense which can be fined up to RM 300,000 Malaysian ringgit, and they can be fined up to 2 years or both imprisonment and fine. Now, we also have consumer protection and misleading information. All right, this is our Consumer Protection Act, which aims to safeguard the public from fake advertising and deceptive claims. So doing your content creation as being an influencer, you cannot say like, you know, promote a magic cream that can work wonders overnight, you know. If you do this and it's not proven that it can do that, all right, so you are making an offense under Section 10, which prohibits misleading or deceptive conduct in trade, including false claims about products or services. And you can be held accountable, all right, and fines up to 100,000, all right, for individuals and 250,000 for corporations, as well as you can be imprisonment for 3 years. All right, now we also have these platforms, the playgrounds for the content creators and influencers like TikTok, like YouTube or Instagram. They also have their own content guidelines and community standards, right? So violations such as posting explicit or prohibited content can lead to account suspensions and removal, especially when you are doing TikTok live, right? There are certain words that you cannot use, right? So when you, in Malaysia, like if they are selling fake handbags, you know, during TikTok live, they will use, they cannot use the actual word, right? For example, if they are selling fake Hermes, they will say memes, all right? If they are selling fake Dior, how do you say? They put Dior. If they are selling fake Coach handbags, they will tell, oh no, we are selling Chocha. You know, all right. So this is what they do. All right. So because if not, all right, the TikTok platforms will, you know, sometimes will just ban their account. Now, we also have government policies and future regulations. Now, the Malaysian government has proposed stricter regulations for content creators. And this include possible registration requirements, and compliance with these potential policies will be essential. Now, as government interest in monitoring online content grows, creators must stay updated on policy changes to ensure that they comply with whatever the government is highlighting or is doing. Right, these are a few examples, all right, of content creators, all right, or influencers in Malaysia, all right, being sued. I'm sure this is the same cases in Malaysia. We have like siasat kes hina agung raja, ataupun lelaki dipenjara 6 bulan kerana perolok isu stalking kalimah Allah, all right, and we have like muat naik hantaran jelek, teman lelaki wanita hina Islam mengaku tidak bersalah. Also, we have like this in the middle, one influencer, all right, she is disaman 1 juta from Dome KL for defaming Dome. And also, we have like here, influencer bakal disaman gara-gara beri review jujur. Kadang-kadang review jujur juga bakal disaman. Right, now, in Malaysia, all right, now the government through MERCe, our watchdog, all right, is very serious in monitoring the content of content creators and influencers. In 2023 itself, all right, we have about 51,000 cases, all right, but now up to half the year of 2024, we already have 51,000, all right, which they have already asked to take down the content which is not supposed to be making. Now, how do we navigate this legal landscape? Now, we know that there's the growth of content creators community, all right, be it through the high internet usage, or the creators span niches like lifestyle, education, and advocacy, all right, but whatever it is, whatever they do, the content creators and also the influencers, we cannot deny that they shape the trends, all right? They shape the trends, they shape the consumer behavior and public discourse, but they have to remember that they are subject to regulatory scrutiny to ensure responsible content creation. That is the word, responsible content creation. Now, with this, we have this freedom of speech limitations, all right? They can, all right, say whatever they want, but in Malaysia, subject to this certain undang-undang atau subject to this certain acts, all right, they have to adhere, all right, and be compliance, all right, to what they are saying, all right, because, all right, we have MERCe, all right, to enforce whatever laws, all right, that they have violated. Now, also, we have to remember that we have ethical considerations. All right, you have to remember the content creators and the influencers, they are the leaders of the digital world. All right, so what they do, all right, they have to be transparent and honest. All right, they have to disclose if it's a paid partnership and create genuine content fosters, and they fosters audience to trust and aligns with ethical standards. All right, content creators are role models for many. All right, we listen to them. All right, influencers, we listen to them. All right, so making it essential for them to promote positivity, avoid misinformation, and contribute to a respectful digital environment. Right, now, how do we chart the path forward? All right, so first, awareness and education. They must know what they can do and what they cannot do. All right, and this will, how do they do it? All right, maybe the platforms can educate them, and they will also have to do their own research and be aware of what they can and cannot do. All right, staying informed on legal updates and industry guidelines empowers the content creators to operate responsibility. responsibly, and also when you collaborate with regulators by working alongside with them, all right, you can contribute to a transparent environment. All right, also we have ethical content creation. Producing meaningful, respectful content supports a vibrant online space. All right, now we want it to be a positive space where creativity can flourish without legal risk. Now, as the content creator community grows, you have to maintain a balance between creative freedom and also legal compliance, which will be crucial in fostering a sustainable digital ecosystem in Malaysia. As a conclusion, dear content creators and influencers, as you share stories, inspire and entertain, remember, freedom comes with responsibility. Your voice is powerful. It can shape thoughts, spark change, and reach many. But with this privilege comes the duty to uphold transparency, respect legal boundaries, and promote positive impact. By embracing these values, you will help to build a vibrant, ethical digital space. Let your content inspire others and lead the way for responsible influence. And with that, I thank you.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, teman-teman semuanya. Oke, sebelumnya tadi mungkin saya sudah minta izin untuk menyampaikan dalam bahasa Indonesia, karena waktunya terbatas. Kalau bahasa Inggris lama, nanti saya terlalu banyak berpikir, bukan bahasa sehari-hari ya Bu Rafiza. Izin Prof. Baik, yang saya hormati Pak Wadik 3, mewakili Pak Dekan yang sedang ke depan, Mas Kaleb, izin Pak Subakdi, izin Pak Bakdi. Baik, saya akan menyampaikan, kalau di pembicara terakhir rasanya agak sedikit mudah karena menjahit dari pembicara-pembicara sebelumnya. Karena di sini juga mungkin agak-agak grogi saya karena ada Prof. Hayan. Prof. Hayan ini dosen saya ketika program doktor. Jadi kalau salah-salah itu salah saya Prof. Mungkin saya waktu kuliah kurang menyerap nih. Prof. Hayan waktu itu mengajar di mata kuliah filsafat hukum, jadi beliau yang memperkenalkan saya dengan Gustav Redbirds dan lain-lainnya, teman-temannya yang dari negara-negara lain terkait dengan teori-teori hukum. Baik, terkait dengan HKI atau Intellectual Property Right, ini kalau di Indonesia tadi pembicara sebelum-sebelumnya banyak yang membahas, izin Pak Dekan, saya dengan bahasa Indonesia ya Pak Dekan. Oke. Terkait dengan tadi Pak Prof. Stefan terkait dengan bagaimana penggunaan AI terkait dengan legal rating di Indonesia, teman-teman juga pasti banyak kalau misalnya dikasih tugas sama dosennya, mulai nih pakai chat GPT dan AI lainnya. Bahkan kalau terkait dengan perdagangan, kita masuk ke dalam perdagangan di Indonesia, ini banyak yang menggunakan AI sebagai periklanan. Nah, kemudian nanti bagaimana kemudian peran dari para pelaku usaha di Indonesia ini mendaftarkan hal-hal yang terkait dengan produk-produk yang diperdagangkannya. Karena sebetulnya terkait dengan HKI ini juga terkait dengan perlindungan, bagaimana inventor, kemudian bagaimana pelaku usaha serta konsumen juga mendapatkan kepastian mengenai produk yang diperjualbelikan. Tadi kalau Prof. Hayan berbicara mengenai bagaimana perlindungan kontrak di Indonesia terkait dengan perdagangan kemudian AI. kemudian Bu Rafizah terkait dengan bagaimana influencer, sama mungkin teman-teman di sini siapa yang belum pernah pakai e-commerce, Shopee, Tokopedia dan lain-lainnya? Udah pernah semua belum? Pernah, oke. Sebelum beli apa lagi yang dilihat dari produknya? Apa? Rating. Oke, terus ada lagi review. Reviewnya ada yang video, ada yang sekarang bahkan ada Shopee affiliate. Ya, ada yang jadi affiliate gak nih? Tiba-tiba di-share belanja-belanja atau masuk komisinya. Nah, mungkin ada beberapa permasalahan terkait dengan afiliasi atau promosi di e-commerce, bagaimana kemudian hak cipta ataupun kepemilikan dari review suatu produk ini kemudian diambil alih oleh toko-toko lain. Misalnya toko A dia dapat nih, dia buat review dari produknya. Kemudian dengan produk yang serupa, dia buat review dari produk lain ataupun dari kreator lain terkait dengan produknya. Oke, terkait dengan ini, mungkin basic terkait dengan definisi IP di Indonesia ataupun hak kekayaan intelektual di Indonesia, ini merupakan suatu hak eksklusif yang diberikan kepada setiap inventor ataupun orang-orang yang mempunyai ciptaan. Kemudian tujuannya tadi tentunya yang pertama sebetulnya adalah untuk perlindungan, kemudian bagaimana untuk meningkatkan kompetitas dari usaha-usahanya, kemudian terkait dengan bagaimana menghindari dari adanya pelanggaran, plagiarisme, kemudian adanya jiplakan produk-produk yang ada di e-commerce ataupun di masyarakat. Kemudian tadi kalau sudah saya bahas terkait dengan Prof. Hayan nih dosen filsafat saya, maka memang yang nempel di kepala saya adalah Gustav Prof. Bagaimana kemudian tujuan hukum di Indonesia yang pertama bagaimana menciptakan kepastian, kemudian keadilan dan juga kemanfaatan. Maka kalau misalnya berbicara mengenai kepastian, sudah pasti kita lihat dulu peraturan perundang-undangan yang ada di Indonesia. Di Indonesia peraturan terkait dengan hak cipta ini sudah cukup banyak, bahkan diakomodir mengenai hak cipta, hak merek, paten sampai dengan rahasia dagang. Mungkin nanti boleh dikoreksi kalau salah Prof. Stefan, di Jerman mungkin tidak ada rahasia dagang ya Prof, mengenai strategi company ataupun recipe, itu bukan menjadi suatu IP. Ya, trade. Oh, sudah masuk. Oke, karena waktu tahun lalu kami mengundang ahli dari Jerman, informasinya memang belum masuk ke dalam salah satu perlindungan. Sekarang sudah masuk ke dalam persaingan usaha ya, Prof? Ya, secret trade. Baik, oke, berarti untuk perbandingannya untuk negara Indonesia dan Jerman memang sudah cukup ada kesamaan, karena memang sebelumnya mengenai trade secret itu belum dilindungi, tapi sekarang sudah masuk ke dalam persaingan usaha yang ada di Jerman. Kemudian ada beberapa lembaga yang menjadi authority ataupun menjadi kewenangan di Indonesia terkait dengan IP. Tentunya yang pertama adalah Direktorat Jenderal Hak Kekayaan Intelektual. Ini berada di bawah Kementerian Hukum dan HAM. Bagaimana teman-teman kalau misalnya nanti, nggak nanti sih, sekarang kalau misalnya punya hak cipta terkait dengan poster, buku, ataupun hal-hal lain yang bisa didaftarkan untuk hak ciptanya, boleh didaftarkan melalui DJKI. Itu adalah hal basic sebenarnya yang bisa dilakukan oleh teman-teman dari mulai sekarang untuk melindungi ciptaan-ciptaan teman-teman sekalian. Kalau teman-teman punya video, kemudian bikinnya susah nih, boleh didaftarkan melalui DJKI. Poster-poster kegiatan teman-teman, kalau misalnya teman-teman punya kegiatan kemudian sifatnya adalah edukatif, itu boleh juga didaftarkan melalui DJKI. Nah, bagaimana untuk pendaftarannya? Tentunya sekarang sudah melalui OJS dan juga melalui sistem, itu melalui adanya Kementerian Hukum dan HAM di bawah yang dinaungi oleh Direktorat Jenderal KI. Kemudian yang kedua, lembaga yang saling terkait adalah pengadilan niaga, di mana pengadilan niaga tentunya ini kewenangannya untuk menyelesaikan sengketa-sengketa merek, perdagangan, kemudian paten dan lain-lainnya berdasarkan dengan persaingan dagang. Kemudian ada Polri atau Kepolisian Indonesia, ini ada di cyber, sekarang cyber sudah melakukan beberapa penyelesaian sengketa terkait pelanggaran IP. Kemudian ada perdagangan, Kementerian Perdagangan juga ini menjadi salah satu institusi yang kemudian berwenang untuk bagaimana menyelesaikan sengketa perdagangan terkait dengan hak cipta. Ada lagi Kementerian Bea Cukai atau Kementerian Keuangan di bawah membawahi Bea Cukai. Teman-teman yang suka belanja di luar negeri atau lagi traveling ke luar negeri bawa barang ke Indonesia, sekarang kan ada pembatasan. Berapa pembatasan sekarang pembawaan barang dari luar ke dalam? Ada yang tahu yang terbaru? Berapa tuh batasan dari harga, kemudian untuk menghindari adanya ancaman produk-produk lokal. Kalau teman-teman perhatikan, Bea Cukai sekarang sudah mulai banyak melakukan regulasi-regulasi. Jadi yang mau just tip coba dilihat lagi karena nanti diambil nih sama si Bea Cukai. Kemudian terkait dengan Kominfo, ini berkaitan juga dengan adanya pelanggaran IP di dalam dunia cyber. Dan yang terakhir adanya organisasi internasional yang kemudian ini sebagai lembaga-lembaga yang melindungi dari ciptaan-ciptaan teman-teman sekalian. Ini di Indonesia melindungi beberapa hal, tadi trademarks, kemudian ada paten, industri geografis, kemudian desain industri, sampai dengan tadi rahasia dagang. Jadi di Indonesia mungkin perlindungannya lebih lengkap dibandingkan dengan negara-negara lain karena sudah dilindungi dari mulai hal yang sepele sampai dengan hal-hal yang bentuknya adalah ciptaan inovasi seperti paten. Kemudian di Indonesia terkait dengan IP, ini sistemnya adalah first to file system. Jadi siapa aja yang pertama kali mendaftarkan itu yang berhak untuk mendapatkan haknya ataupun melekat di dalamnya. Teman-teman pernah dengar kasusnya Bensu? Ya, siapa yang pertama kali mendaftarkan? Siapa? Beni siapa? Beni siapa? Oke, Beni siapa Mas? Oh, kalau ditanya diam dia, tadi dia jawab padahal. Ya, ada dua pihak, yang pertama ada Ruben Onsu, yang pertama dari pemiliknya Beni. Kemudian yang pertama kali mendaftarkan adalah Beni, padahal Bensu itu sendiri adalah maksudnya Ruben Onsu, atau singkatan dari namanya selebritas. Kemudian mereka berdua saling bersengketa, di mana yang menang tetaplah si Beni, karena yang pertama kali mendaftarkan adalah siapa namanya? Si Beni Susantyo. Baik Prof, terima kasih. Nah ini prinsip dalam di hukum kekayaan intelektual di Indonesia terkait dengan pendaftaran kekayaan intelektual. Jadi siapapun yang pertama kali mendaftarkan itu yang mendapatkan hak. Jadi apapun alasannya, mau tadi dibilang ini Bensu namanya Ruben Onsu, namanya selebritas, tapi kalau dia tidak mendaftarkan maka tidak mendapatkan hak tersebut. Kemudian masa berlakunya untuk trademark adalah 10 tahun, kemudian dapat diperbarui 6 bulan sebelum berakhir. Kemudian selanjutnya mengenai paten, kalau paten biasanya ini berkaitan dengan mesin-mesin produksi ataupun temuan-temuan yang sifatnya adalah dapat dipatenkan, tujuannya untuk membuat suatu produk baru, kemudian menghasilkan ataupun inovasi-inovasi baru. Kemudian kita lanjutkan dengan copyright atau hak cipta. Ini yang paling banyak teman-teman mungkin lihat ada kasus kemarin yang baru, siapa yang penyanyi dangdut? Yang terkait dengan hak cipta penggunaan lagunya. Siapa tuh yang perempuan kemarin? Dia merasa bahwa lagu yang dinyanyikan oleh bandnya adalah tidak mempunyai hak cipta, padahal yang menciptakan adalah dia sendiri. Nah itu yang kemudian menjadi banyak permasalahan di dunia musik karena antara pencipta dengan pembawa lagu itu tidak mempunyai perjanjian ataupun tidak mempunyai fakta-fakta bahwa terkait dengan ciptaannya. Jadi mengenai, karena ini kaitannya adalah dengan hak eksklusif yang menempel, bagaimana kemudian menambahkan tambahan ekonomi yang menempel di dalamnya, adanya hak-hak ekonomi eksklusif, maka ini harus ditelusuri lebih lanjut terkait siapa nih kira-kira yang pertama kali menciptakan, kemudian siapa yang mendaftarkan, dan di dalam hak cipta nanti akan dituliskan siapa yang menciptakan, siapa pemegang hak ciptanya. Nah makanya nanti akan ditentukan siapa yang kira-kira berhak untuk memperoleh dari hak eksklusif tersebut. Sama dengan foto-foto, itu juga perlu saat ini banyak kasus penggunaan AI Kemudian kira-kira AI ini kepemilikan fotonya punya siapa? Kemudian dijadikan iklan. Nah, itu juga banyak menjadi suatu permasalahan. Nah, ini yang tadi dibahas mengenai trade secret atau rahasia dagang, bahwa perusahaan itu pasti punya strategi-strategi khusus terkait untuk bagaimana meningkatkan usahanya atau mengincrease dari kegiatan produksinya. Kemudian ada juga resep-resep dari perdagangan seperti resep makanan. Misalnya siapa di sini memang yang tahu resepnya masak McD? Bagaimana dia tata kelolanya bisa sampai dia mengeluarkan ayam yang rasanya seperti itu? Pastikan itu dia punya rahasia sendiri. Nah, kemudian ketika karyawan itu bekerja, apakah resep-resep tersebut dia menjadi sesuatu hal yang harus dilindungi dan tidak boleh untuk di-publish keluar. Baik, kemudian ini yang terakhir terkait dengan tantangan dalam AP di Indonesia. Yang pertama adalah dari mulai penegakan hukumnya, kalau memang substansinya sudah ada, maka bagaimana untuk penegakan hukumnya? Apakah masih lemah? Kemudian tadi instansi-instansi terkait, apakah dia sudah melakukan tugasnya untuk melakukan penanggulangan ataupun penghindaran dari pelanggaran hak cipta? Kemudian biaya yang ditimbulkan untuk penyelesaian sengketa tadi melalui peradilan niaga atau bahkan dimungkinkan melalui arbitrase kalau memang kalau memang perusahaannya adalah perusahaan besar, itu dianggap terlalu besar sehingga tidak apple to apple nih. Dia menyelesaikan sengketanya harganya sekian tapi kerugiannya nggak sampai dengan sekian. Kemudian koordinasi internasionalnya juga masih lemah, maka di Indonesia perlu adanya terus-terusan kolaborasi dan juga bagaimana kerjasama internasional terkait dengan IP, bagaimana kemudian kalau misalnya kita menjiplak barang dari luar negeri, apakah disamakan mengenai regulasi dan juga sanksinya. Kiranya cukup, saya akhiri. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mutia, for the insightful information. Di sini kita tahu bahwa guru itu punya guru ya, dan gurunya kita itu berarti guru kita juga. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the conclusion of these remarkable international events, allow me to express my deepest gratitude to all of you, the esteemed colleagues, and to all the professors and speakers, and also to all the passionate students who have contributed your insight ideas to our discussion. But before we end this discussion, we will have a Q&A. Kita mau ngadain Q&A dulu. Kalau misalnya ada yang mau nanya, boleh angkat tangan. Nanti kalau misalnya bisa bahasa Inggris bisa kita translate. Ya, itu yang
thank you for the opportunity to standing here. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Masita Adwa. I am representative from Class G. Well, I want to ask to Professor Stephen Cruz about the AI. I remember the slide that talking about copyright protection for AI generated works. Over there it says that AI assistant works may be protected if significant human intervention is involved in their creation. Courts must determine the extent of human creativity. So I would like to ask about how can we clearly define, measure what counts as significant human intervention? Because as we know that in AI created works, especially since human is a creative creature, so it suggests, of course, like the creativity that we're talking about here is a subjective thing. So, and of course, in AI itself, its process are complex. So how can we actually determine that? Thank you so much.
You are absolutely right, but this is actually a general problem of all application of law, that we have certain general clauses and that we must assess it in a flexible way. So it can happen that one court will say this is still copyrightable and another court says no. For example, in the case I mentioned, the authority gave her the opportunity to shape or to amend her application in order to define the parts of the artwork which was done by herself and which was not. Yeah, this is one thing. But anyway, I think this is also a transition problem. That's why I say we must think about alternative concepts of, sorry, there's a back connection. Alternative concepts of protecting this, so like agent theories, you know, because on the long term we might not only not be able to differentiate it clearly. That would be a normal problem for all application of law, as I mentioned before, but on the long term, we might not want to differentiate anymore, yeah? Because as I say, we will have a tendency away from legal application to technological shaping of our protection and so on, and we will be accustomed to products which are done by the use of technological measurements, even if it is hybrid with human creation, human activity, human body, and so on. This is, of course, future, but it may be useful to think about which concepts we can use for the future to protect these kind of products. Yeah, so that's why I like to mention the agent theory. ETA law has the electronic agent, but the electronic agent is not at all fitting to AI, not even to smart contracts. Yeah, so there are many aspects which are some researchers here say, oh, we have ETA law and there's electronic agents, we can handle the smart contract, which is combined with AI agent, but it starts already with when we talk about a smart contract, with this contract must be in Indonesian language. Yeah, so how you want to make a smart contract in Indonesian language, this machine language. Yeah, so this is all shaped with the analog world, but if we come more and more into connection with the digital world, then we will learn that the law will first of all not protect us anymore. So we will need our own protection. So against smart patterns, dark patterns by AI, we use our AI, which analyze web pages, which analyze advertising and warns us. Yeah, and second, we will have maybe concepts where we're not so interested. So I'm not interested anymore if some researcher use AI to write his paper. This doesn't matter for me at all. There are conservative colleagues of mine who say, this is yes, I mentioned that, fake paper, because there is a part of it written in AI. So sorry, I don't care for that. I don't care for whether the boring method part in your papers is written by AI. I read the method part in AI. It's a normative, blah, 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 and then maybe make a lot of citation of some professor who 30 years ago said, what is normative research? Nobody is interested in that. Yeah, and the abstract is better shaped by the AI than when I do it, because when I do it, there is inconsistent. The AI knows exactly. So, and why I should read all these boring papers from word to word down if I can have a good summary. When I read the summary of the AI, give me a summary of the paper, and there is something I think it's interesting for me, then I go to that part, and that part I translate from Bahasa to German, and then I analyze whether it's correct what the AI says, because I'm well aware of the faultiness of the AI. Yeah, but why I should bother my creativity by taking care, someone could analyze that and then they could see, wow, this professor wrote a part of it, this is product of AI. Yeah? Why? For what? I mean, this is absolutely, if you have no other problems, then yeah, okay, then bother yourself with that, yeah? But this is, I hate navigating, I had delve into, and so I tell my AI, if you write this part, please avoid words, which is typically AI, and also I feed the AI with my own papers, which I wrote 15 years ago, so the AI knows my style, yeah? And then we write a book now. Of course, why not? But then there are parts again, when I say, I'm faster now myself, yeah? Before I shape around and prompt around, and then it's not like I write it down myself better, and then I make maybe a style check or something like that, yeah? Or I just draft my ideas down and tell the AI, please, can you make it into shape and make a structure, and then tell me where I should integrate it into my paper. Here's my paper, I upload it for you, yeah? Thank you, Gerda, because my AI has the name Gerda. So why not, yeah? So what you mentioned here, how we know this is AI and this is not, this will not be so interesting. It is interesting maybe in the where it is coming up to the aesthetics, yeah. So because as I mentioned, people will be bored, yeah. People want to have the aesthetic given by people. So I believe in the renaissance of the classic. So I think people will love to read in the future even more Tolkien, or Goethe, or Shakespeare, maybe, if you, my God, Shakespeare is not good to read, yeah, but some people like it, yeah, so, but at least I can be sure Shakespeare did not use AI, yeah, so you know what I mean, yeah, so Renaissance in the classic, there is so much to read. Even 5 years ago, it was not written by AI, so I would say until 2020, we can read a lot, right? We don't need the new products of modern authors, but in the rest of the day, if I'm well entertained, come on, let's be honest, you know papers in Indonesia, right? So, I mean, we all do this research. I work on a textbook for AI and law in Indonesian, for Indonesian students. I read a lot of papers now. And there's so many papers which should not have been written because it's nothing new. They don't say all the same. This is there is no idea behind it. This is just compilation of something. And then how innovative is that really? I mean, wow, the human is innovative, the AI not. How innovative is it? If they use the AI at least, then it would be at least well structured. You know what I mean? So I also wrote horrible papers, by the way, yeah. So when I was younger, especially, yeah. But I want to say we will not lose so much if we use the AI in the research. So for a research paper, because transfer of knowledge is the relevance and not the aesthetic. But for the aesthetic, I agree. That can be interesting, but in economical sense, yeah. So people will pay more if they know it's from human. And then we need maybe instruments to detect it. And that can be, there will be paper, there will be our editorials, there will be companies who guarantee me they hire well-hired, well-paid authors who do this, yeah? And then we will have control, there will be control measurements, technical control measurements with blockchain and I don't know what else, and they will be agreed to, or there is a cam always when they write it, and we will control how the making of the text was, yeah? And then we know this is really a human being having written that, and we will have to pay for that, yeah? So that is what I mean, it's maybe not so democratic. It will make the art expensive, the art will be exclusive, like a Lange und Söhne watch, or Audemars Piguet watch is expensive, and you can have the cheap Apple watch for 400 euro. That is for the poor people. Is that answering your question?
Tiga. Banyak tuh. 1, 2, 3. Students enthusiast to your
Thank you so much for the opportunity given to me. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Alicia Christine Laubura from class of 2024. I would like to ask to Dr. Raviza Abu Hassan. My question is, you mentioned earlier about the Sedition Act 1948, which I think has similarity with Article 160 of Indonesia's Penal Code. They both aim to prevent hate speech, incitement of violence, and actions that could harm racial or religious harmony. However, such laws can sometimes be perceived as tools to suppress dissent or legitimate political discourse. How can these laws be designed or enforced in a way that effectively prevents hate speech and promotes societal harmony while ensuring that they do not infringe upon individuals' rights to freedoms of speech and the ability to express political or social criticism. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Alicia. All right, yeah, it's great to know that in Indonesia, I think not only Indonesia, I think in many countries, all right, they will also have this law to prevent all this, right? They, at one end, they say it's freedom of expression, all right? On the other hand, they say, all right, you are limited to this, all right? You cannot say anything hatred or insightful. Yeah, that's the thing that we have to do. We have to navigate the thin line, all right, between we expressing it and also the what we say, all right, will you know, all this insightful or hatred, all right. So to me, all right, in Malaysia we promote awareness, all right. So they should be aware, and the government is very serious, all right, in promoting this awareness so that we the content creators and the influencers, they know what to do and what they cannot do, all right? And also the media is also doing a lot on this, all right? Once there is cases, all right, which is very sensitive. And this is actually very sensitive when it involves the our sultan or our religion, all right? So this is very sensitive. So to me, to promote awareness on this is very crucial to navigate this so that it won't happen. All right. Okay. Thank you.
One more,
Oke, baik. Perkenalkan, nama saya Nadia Zaharani dari Angkatan 2024. Izin bertanya kepada Dr. Mutia Sakti SHMH. Pertanyaannya itu adalah, harus diketahui dan diakui kalau di Indonesia industri kreatif kurang didukung dan dilindungi. Mulai dari kurangnya apresiasi sampai hak cipta karyanya juga masih kurang dilindungi. Menurut Ibu, apakah hukum tersebut perlu diperhatikan dan diperbaharui atau dibuat oleh pemerintah? Karena harus kita akui, tanpa industri kreatif masyarakat pasti akan kehilangan entertainmentnya. Terima kasih.
Oke. Baik, terima kasih. Pertanyaannya tadi Mbak terkait dengan bagaimana ekonomi kreatif di Indonesia ini harus dilindungi. Sebagaimana kan kita ketahui ada bagian ekonomi kreatif dan juga digitalisasi. Nah, terkait dengan hal itu tentu penting adanya perlindungan terkait dengan musik, kemudian video, tadi sudah dibahas mungkin, kemudian menyambung juga tadi terkait dengan materi dari Bu Rafizah terkait dengan bagaimana kreator TikTok dan Instagram mungkin bagaimana mereka akhirnya membuat kreasi dan juga harus dilindungi. Karena yang tadi kita bahas bersama adanya kreator, kemudian adanya video-video yang tidak dilindungi, comot sana comot sini, padahal itu bisa yang satu bikin yang ternyata kreatornya awalnya nggak FYP nih bahasa TikToknya, tapi kemudian ketika di copy paste, di repost oleh yang lain, itu FYP, meningkatkan adanya ekonomi ataupun peningkatan followers dan lain-lainnya. Nah, hal seperti ini tentunya perlu untuk dikembangkan dan juga diperhatikan bagaimana para kreator ini mendaftarkan ciptaannya kemudian untuk terlindungi sehingga tidak ada plagiarisme daripada kreator-kreator lain. Jadi perkembangan ekonomi dan juga digital dalam hal kreator ini juga bisa terus berkembang. Jadi para konten kreator nggak bosen nih, nanti takutnya kalau kita udah buat ternyata diciplak sama yang lain, lebih menguntungkan yang lain. Jadi perlu adanya tentunya perhatian dari pemerintah bagaimana mengenai perlindungan terhadap kreator ini. Cukup, terima kasih ya. Oke.
Okay, so I recently just got a question and a message from a student of doctoral program UPN Veteran Jakarta, Bu Dwi Arianti, one of our lecturer. She wanted to ask Prof. Hayan. I think AI and ChatGPT are something scary for me because I'm afraid of being punished if I use AI and ChatGPT, especially for research and articles. According to the speakers, how should I use AI and ChatGPT properly and correctly?
That's a very important issue that's actually relates to the legal and ethical issues. How to use artificial intelligence properly. I think most important thing is that transparency. Yeah, transparency will allow you. Oh yeah, ini lebih basis. The artificial intelligence should be optimized, should be used transparently in order to allow everyone to know and to access the truth. The second one, how to avoid the illegal things, in using the data or privacy, like it has been mentioned by Professor Stephen Kos just now, related to the privacy, as well as the control or the owners, the IP owners, right? Because sometimes there are tensions between artificial intelligence utilizations and intellectual property owners, particularly in copyright creations. Because most of the data that are used in the artificial intelligence are controlled and still exist under control of intellectual property owners or copyright owners. So it is not properly, if we use the AI without license or permissions from the real owner. Because if you wanna click let's say, propose a questions, then AI will explore any information related to the your questions without mentioning the owners of the the intellectual property or copyright works, right? Yeah, so there are three mentions that you have to underline. First, from the legal aspect related to the intellectual property or copyright rules, the owners, particularly how to protect the copyright owners in utilizations of the AI. The second one, about the ethical framework should be used in order to respect the others' privacy, others' data, as well as the transparency, and access to informations. That's very important. I think in order to do that, the key words is transparency. And it will allow you to use, because if we block others, our students to use AI, it seems like we block them to read book. So in my point of view, all students are encouraged to use in AI in order to improve the efficiency and effectivity, particularly for exercising or exploring the relevant data and informations that could be used as their works, to form or to shape their works. But the keywords is transparent. Thank you.
Maybe you were interested in that issue. My colleague and me from Germany, we published this year or last year an article. You find it under my ResearchGate about the use of AI in legal education. And then you find our thesis about that. I mostly agree with you, but I'm not agree with the transparency. As I mentioned before, we should see it more from the effect. Yeah, so I agree absolutely. It must be ethical. It means we should not copyright infringe, or we should not make plagiarism. So our duty is to control the results of the use of the AI. So if we make plagiarism and the AI produce something which is similar to some other works and we don't give reference, that is the same issue as if we do it with our brain. It doesn't make any difference whether you use the AI for that or you use your brain for that. If you use the brain for that, you are knowing it. If you use the AI for it, you have a black box. And as you have a black box, your responsibility is to control. That's why I say that the task of the researcher in the future using AI is mostly the controlling and the prompting, but not the text producing. It's about the control. If you not control well, then it's possible that you have some sentences which sound exactly like the original sentence of someone else, and we don't give reference. When I use AI, in the beginning I started to make a full paper just with AI product. Only AI, block by block. It is 12,000 words. I wanted to write it for Indonesian journal, and I did not publish it yet. You know why? Because I have 12,000 words. Sounds good. It's a good paper. It's not stupid. It's innovative. It's a lot of things. You know why I didn't publish it? Because I'm too lazy to put all the references in this text. Yeah. So that's why I say I don't care how much you use, and I use it. I write whole blocks when I don't need so much references like these boring parts, yeah? But when it comes to the things where I have an idea and where it's innovative, I'm starting sometimes to formulate it, and then I go on, and then I don't stop anymore, because I can write it faster, because sentence by sentence I know, oh, this one, for that I need a reference, oh, here I read this, here I need a reference, and then it's faster. But if I have this full block of AI written text and I must later enter the references, it cost me so much work. So this is not economic, yeah? So for the transparency, to be honest, I don't care. The transparency, it is not the business of the reader how I made my product. If my product is not infringing other rights, if my product is not plagiarism, if my product is, in your opinion, good, even if it's good or not, it's not your business. You can say it's not good, it's good. If I write it with my brain, it's also bad product, yeah? But as long as I'm not infringing rights, it is not the business of the reader whether I use this tool or that tool. Yeah, so I think, I'm sorry, yeah, that I disagree in this. I think the question of the transparency, did we use AI for the writing or not? This is just for the next 2-3 years, and nobody will talk about that anymore, because it's anyway already all AI. Look in LinkedIn, yeah, I read a statistic, 480% raise of AI written postings in LinkedIn. Yeah, so whenever you see these little rockets in the LinkedIn, you know that is written by AI. Yeah, you can ask yourself why I do it. Why should I do that? I like the personal touch. You will find in any of my articles, you will find my personal touch. You will find long parts which are really written by me. Yeah, but how you want to differentiate it when you use your? I mean, I write every article in Indonesia. I write in German, and then I translate it with DeepL. Where is the fake here? Is the DeepL translation also AI fake? Or is it only fake if I write it in English and let it correct by the AI? Hey, proofread that for me and make some suggestions. Is it then fake? It is no fake at all. It is our idea. And as long as we have a good product, but the product is innovative, someone can learn something from it, and we don't infringe the rights of others, and we are fair, it's fine. But the tool is not your business. This is my view of that. If you're interested in that, read my paper.
That's a good point. I think it could be discussed about the transparency. As long as, probably in related to the articles, written by artificial intelligence, sometimes they contain, this is related to the intellectual property rules, if it contains the core elements that are mentioned in the AI, then it should be, in my point of view, it should be put or added in the by resources. In my point of view, for example, let's say the unlaw, the unjust hukum yang tidak ada adalah bukan hukum. This is the injustice is not law at all. That refers to the Aquinas, and Aquinas refers to Saint Augustine. In my point of view, this is the core elements, yeah, that should be stated, yeah, should be explained in the related to the resources. That's I mean the transparency. Particularly in most of the intellectual property products, like I mentioned, the essential intellectual property products in data exclusivity, for example, particularly in health or in pharmaceutical industries. There are so many inventions that are used and could be accessed by AI in order to create a new products. In this context, that it may spark the conflicts or tensions if there is no transparency when the author or the creator or the inventor doesn't mention about the resources that are used to create, particularly for method, yeah? The experimental method or the theory, a certain theory that are used in creating their own works. This is the problem why AI become controversial in the utilizations, particularly for the because of the utilizations of the materials that are used in AI are designed to create a profitable business, for example, yeah, or profit oriented. So some of the owners, the creative or the copyright owners, or as well as the patent owners, sometimes may feel objections related to the AI utilizations. This is the point. I absolutely agree with your point. As long as we create the design, the pattern or the platform of the ideas, yeah, by using AI, it is not problem. Yeah, we don't care about the issues of transparency, but particularly for the core and essential elements that are used to create something for profit-oriented, maybe it is necessary to request or to confirm, yeah, with the owners, yeah, particularly related to the transparency in optimizing the intellectual property products. That's my point. Thank you.
I just got a new message from another lecturer from UPenn Veteran Jakarta. Good morning, Prof. Stephen Kus. Regarding copyright infringement due to the use of AI, in your opinion, who can be held responsible? The user, the AI manager, or the AI itself? And which country law can be used to resolve the problem? Thank you very much. Best regard, Dr. Handoyo Prasetyo, SH, lecturer in Corporate Criminal Law, UPenn Veteran Jakarta.
The first question is easy, not the AI. Yeah, the AI is not a person. This is actually a wider problem. It's a problem of the liability of AI and to whom we assign the risks of the use of a tool. And in a moment, I mean, if you produce something with the AI, that's what I say that's what I mean when I say we must see it always from the effect, yes, or from the product. If the product is infringing, there is an infringement, and that one who makes the product is responsible. So me as the producer of the text or of the picture, if I'm not controlling well and then it is not making enough reference and it is copying something, I suppose that is what you mean, then we infringe an intellectual property right, and me as the one who brings it into the public, who publish it, makes it available. Yeah, so I'm responsible for that. Yeah, so this is very clear. If it's about, for example, liability, in which we use fault, guilt guilt or voluntary or negligence, we have a bit problem because it is not always controllable what AI does. Not even the developer can control what the AI does. So for example, I regard the developer for infringement of copyright not responsible, because the developer is responsible for the training data, but not for the output, because the developer cannot know what the AI will do with the training data as long as it's not overtraining. So overtraining can make memorization, but if it's a normal training, it's not foreseeable. Then it's only on the producer. And if it's about fault, it doesn't mean, not in copyright, but in other aspects, for example, liability for damages and so. It doesn't mean that the developer can never be responsible, or the one who used the AI never be responsible, because it would be too easy to say, okay, there is an autonomous item which is deciding with AI, and I didn't foresee that, yeah? In this sense, I think we need a paradigmical change from guilt in the liability to organizational fault. We must think about, and that is what AI regulation in European Union does, we must think that we have more and more complex organizations, for example, in supply chains, global supply chains, but also in technological items and systems like AI, where it is more and more impossible to foresee individually the fault or the result and the risks of the use. Nevertheless, we cannot forbid the use, because the use is innovation for us. So if we cannot forbid the use, and the use poses a certain risk which cannot be assigned individually to some person, we need different concepts of assignment of risks. And one of these concepts could be, for example, strict liability, like we have it in the traffic. So if I use a dangerous item which poses a risk to the society, who has the profit from it? The one who used the item, the one who used the agent. Yeah, so the agent should be responsible, whether guilty or not. Yeah, or we use organizational fault by giving duties for documentation, giving duties for control, for observation in whole life cycle, and these things. Which is a little bit a problem, because you can hide behind documentations then, yeah? So, and there will be a race of accreditation companies and certification companies will check, oh, is the documentation full, and did they really check, and is it something like this, yeah? So anyway, this is the responsibility, and in the moment, I would say, we can say, if you use AI, then counter check. I always put everything, when I have a blog written by AI, I put it to a plaque scanner. Yeah, because I'm not trusting it. I not trust that it's correct. So if I analyze papers, for example, I'm not trusting that AI tells me this is written in this paper and that is the innovation of the paper. I always counter check, is it really there? Because I make reviews of papers, for example, for journals. Yeah, and to make it faster, I let first the AI check this paper and tell me what is the novelty, what is the main idea, and I cannot write in the review later, this is the main idea, and the AI hallucinated, right? So I must counter check. It is my responsibility. If I not fulfill the responsibility, it's my fault, and then the risk is on me, and that is correct. Which law is applicable? This is the best question in the terms of AI today. Really, really good question. Because copyright is based on territoriality principle. Territoriality principle means we have only the exclusive right in the territorium of the state. This means for Europe, in the European states, or at least in the European Union, for Indonesia, only Indonesia. This means also that in the conflict of law, applicable is the law of the state for which the protection is wanted, and this means you cannot harm a national intellectual property right by a foreign act. Now, if we have the impact of the training, this is the input effect. The input is done in the US. They train their systems in the US, not in the European Union. Nevertheless, European Union has AI regulation, and there is one article which says that the developers of AI, when they bring their model to the market of the European Union, have to respect European Union copyright rules, especially the rules about text and data mining. Yeah, this is exactly the training, because this Hamburg court just applied the text data mining rules of European Union to the AI training. This means European Union is trusting the Brussels effect. We externalize our local legislation on copyright to third countries, and we force the developers factually to respect national European copyright law, even if the training takes place in the US or in China. Yeah, so this is the most important question maybe, because if Indonesia makes an AI regulation, and you say, okay, our undang-undang hak cipta is applicable, if they infringe the right in abroad, it is not touching undang-undang hak cipta, because it's not touching Indonesian copyright law. Yeah. Only if you say the copyrighted data which are used in the training are still represented in the model, then we can say, okay, that is a making available in your territory, because then you use the AI model which has the representation of the data, and that is in your territory. Otherwise, you have a foreign infringement. And this is important because you could also say, okay, we also regard it as an internal infringement if the training is abroad, but the model is brought to our market, because the national link would be bringing it to our market. The question is, how much will the big platform trainer, the big platform companies respect Indonesian law? Yeah, and that is a factual, political, economical question. So if a bloc or a nation has a political or economical power that is interesting enough for the foreign platform companies and technological companies to respect, because otherwise the transaction costs for them would be too high, the fines would be too high, and they would rather pay the fine than to lose the market, then they would respect it. That is in the moment still happening in the European Union with the data protection regulation and maybe also with the AI. We call it the Brussels effect, extraterritorial effect. If Malaysia does it, maybe they would say, we don't care for Malaysian market, yeah, not enough people. So 400 million European citizens, that's why Brexit is crazy, because Britain is not so interesting anymore. Yeah? In the European Union, we have a big market power, even if our political power is marginal. Yeah? Indonesia, so-so. Yeah? 300 million people, but maybe they'll say, okay, Indonesian market, maybe the Indonesian legislator is skeptical about that. So you can ask yourself why Undang-Undang Perlindungan Data Pribadi is so close to the European data protection regulation. Maybe because they say, okay, we have here already a worldwide standard which is already factually respected, because Microsoft pays the fine to the European Commission whenever they do something, and Temu will maybe respect it, yeah, later. And then in Indonesia can say, okay, they will also then automatically respect our law. So which law is applicable? This is the main question. Whenever we regulate something, we have a very limited regulation power, because especially if it comes to the infringement of intellectual property right. That's my answer.
Thank you so much for your answer, Professor. And to all of the other speakers, thank you so much for your answer. It's truly been an insight for us, especially the law student learner. All right, since we are getting close into the end, allow me to summarize what we have been through. Throughout this conference, we have explored a complex and timely issue, from the limits freedoms of contract in managing essential intellectual property to the dual-edged reality of growing content creator community. We have talked a lot about AI, who's responsible of AI itself, and how AI works, and how should we act regarding upon it, because it seems like we are the last bastion, not only in AI, but also in, what we should call it, in influencer. Because we, as a law student, when we finally graduate, we will be the one who creates the law and enforce it. I think if I could summarize it into one stance, what we should do is that we should try to learn on how we should act, especially regarding the ethics and morality. We need to learn about that, so that later on, when we finally graduate, we could use our power that's been upheld within us, because we learned the law, to create a society where we find a delicate balance between freedom and regulations.
I think your questions and the elaborations, answers from Professor Stephen Kos could be clustered into one key words. That's a personality. In order to elaborate the responsibility of the utilizations of AI, because you mentioned about the personality is keywords and not the legal entity AI that have been mentioned under the Australian court decisions. That refers to the legal entity, but the core point in the responsibility of only the man or the legal subject that have personal, like you mentioned, the personality, it refers to the quality of emotions, quality of desire, imaginations. But the machine cannot be asked for responsibility to our, because this is the very, very important related to our nations. They try to visualize the AI could become a subject or legal subject. But in my point of view, like Professor Kos said, that the keywords is personality in order to see whether the legal subject could be asked to take a legal responsibility or not. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor, for the add-ups. I believe we are nearing the end once again. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend my heartfelt thanks to our distinguished speaker, participants, and all of those who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this event a success. Before we close this meeting, ladies and gentlemen, remember, het recht hing achter de feiten aan, law my lags behind from the fact. But fiat justitia ruat coelum, even if the sky fall, law must be served. Once again, I'm sorry for my lacking, and thank you so much. We will have a photo session and also a certificate session.
Okay, for the second, we would like to ask Professor Hayarul Haq from University of Utrecht and University of Mataram to go forward. And for the third, we would like to have Dr. Hafizah Abu Hasan for Mara Technological University, Malaysia. And last, we have Dr. Mutia Sakti, SHMH from our University UPN Veteran Jakarta. Thank you so much for all of the attention. With this, I will withdraw myself and return my position back to Nova as the Master of Ceremony.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Raihan Zain, for the moderating this event. We're at the end of this seminar. So, demikianlah rangkaian acara seminar internasional Fakultas Hukum UPN Veteran Jakarta hari ini. Terima kasih kepada para narasumber atas ilmu yang telah dibagikan kepada seluruh peserta atas partisipasinya. Once again, thank you for all the speakers. It was an honor to us for having all of you today. Thanks. Terima kasih. Dankeschön, Professor. We hope that today's seminar has provided valuable insights and encouraged meaningful discussions. Thank you for your attention. Have a great day ahead. Sampai jumpa pada kesempatan berikutnya. Terima kasih, selamat siang. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.